Here we are, back home, not outside in this video, but if you do want to see me exploring Italy, the past 2 weeks videos have got tons of that and tons of pictures that I took from my last trip to Italy. We were in Turin 1 week and then Milan the next. It was a great time. But I'm back now, and the weather in the UK is unbelievable right now. I can't go anywhere without getting absolutely drenched, so I thought I'd stay in today and talk about something quite important that I get asked quite a lot in comments on Insta or this YouTube channel, and that is what I do to get out of any rut that I'm stuck in. So if you're stuck in a rut, how can you change things up, do things differently to get you to enjoy photography again? It's quite a common topic of conversation, so I thought we'd talk about that today, and I'll show you the things that I've been doing recently and stuff like that since being back from Italy. So the first thing that I always recommend people do, and it's one that I think people feel stuck in, they feel stuck in their actual niche. So for me, I'm a street photographer, and I feel like other street photographers feel like they have to be stuck doing street photography forever because that's the only thing that their audience will enjoy. But it's not about audience, it's more about yourself, and that's what people seem to forget, I think, first and foremost. So if I ever get stuck in a rut, or if I just want to change things up and keep things fresh, I always do different things, different types of photography. And lately, I've been going to see gigs quite a bit. I went to see Busted a few months ago and I took some pictures while I was there. And even more recently, I saw Hozier play in Finsbury Park. And I got some incredible images, taking pictures right up close, and really trying to get some proper concert photography done. And it's not something I've ever thought about doing, but when you're in the moment listening to music and, chatting to people and enjoying the atmosphere, you can really get involved. You can really get the crowd involved with the shots that you're taking. And I got some really cool pictures at Hozier on the weekend. It was absolutely tipping it down all day. I had a rain poncho on, I had my camera, and I was in amongst it, and he came out, and it was, yeah, the crowd was going insane. And I think that spurred me on even more to try and get some best pictures that I can. And don't have to do it with concert photography, you could do it with any sort of thing. Say you're a street photographer and you want to go out still on the street, but you don't want to capture candid moments anymore. Try doing street portraits, or try doing architecture, or, cars. If you're in a city, there's so much that you can do, and it can vary photography so much. You could take pictures of pets as they're walking down the street, You could become a dog photographer in a heartbeat in London. There's so many of them, and everyone's so friendly. I have never once had someone go, "No, you can't take a photo of my dog," because everyone wants to see it afterwards, and you can get some really nice dog portraits. And dogs are so unpredictable, much like people in candid street photography. You can capture some moments where the dogs are posing for you unexpectedly, and it comes out quite nicely. So changing up your style of photography just for a day or two can really make a difference and get you back into thinking, I enjoy photography. Or you'll get one of those pictures that goes, damn, I'm a good photographer. This one from the Hozier concert made me get that, that feeling. I was like, yeah, that's a good image. I'm glad I took that. And that's part of the whole thing. I wouldn't post it on my Instagram because it's not what I do, but it's definitely something that I would keep and be like, yeah, I took that photo and I'm damn proud of it. The next thing is travel to new locations. Now, not everyone's blessed to go on trips abroad multiple times a year or anything like that. We're all living in difficult times around the world, and it's hard to, just hop on a plane and go somewhere spur of the moment. And those that can should count their lucky stars, and I know I do. But some other things that people can do is just go to the next town over, go to places that you haven't been before. There are places around me that are literally within walking distance that I have never been to, and I should. And, I'm bad enough for it. I always tend to go to the same places in London, and I'm very much a creature of habit because I know what sort of photography I'm going to get there. But don't be afraid to venture to new locations. have a look on Google Maps, go onto Street View, and just go around different streets that you've not really been to before that you can take photos of. There's a very popular saying, and I can't remember who first came up with it, but they say that in street photography you can take a good image within a kilometre of where you are at the minute. So wherever you are at the moment, you can take a good photo in a kilometre radius, and it's very much true. Photography, especially street photography, can happen absolutely out of nowhere, and no matter what you're shooting, you can make something good of it. If the light hits a building a certain way and there's a cool reflection on the floor, or if a subject walks out and they're purely quirky, you know, you could be walking to Tesco's and see someone come out of Tesco's with, you know, bags of shopping and they look like they're struggling, they're pulling a cool facial expression and they're wearing a cool outfit. You know, these are all everyday situations that you capture in the moment, and that's why I always preach about having some form of camera with you, whether it be my Leica, whether it be my Fuji, or whether it even be my phone. As long as I've got a camera with me, I know that I can capture those moments however fleeting they may be. Another thing you can always do in terms of travel and stuff like that is, if you're visiting new places, set yourself challenges for those days. And I do this all the time, even in places that I go to countless times like London, and I always enjoy them. Even if I am not successful, I like setting myself challenges, and they can be as simple as get a photo in this specific location with someone wearing green, or it could be more complex than that, and it'd be get a photo of a subject in a purple flowy dress with reflection hitting them from the left hand side, and compose it all in your head. And you know, if you know the location that you want to get those shots, and if you've been to that location before and you know the area and you know where you can go to get those shots, it's more of an accomplishment when you actually get those sorts of images. On the flip side, if you've never been to a place before, you can scout it out on Google Maps, like I said earlier, and then when you see it on Google Maps, be like, all right, I know what I want to get there. And that might mean camping for the longest amount of time, but sometimes it's worth it in the end. And I always say that if I go out on a day of street photography and I get one good photo, it makes the whole day worth it. I don't go out and take 600 photos a day and get 600 bangers. That's certainly not true at all. I get one or two good photos out of 400, 500. And you only have to look on my website to see that fact. London has more of a range, and it shows in my London portfolio that there's a variety of different images because I go there a lot more. If you have a look at the places that I've only been to once or twice, like Italy with the Milan and Turin, or Prague, Greece, etc., there are just a few photos in there, but all of those are a variation of travel snaps to good composed street photography images, and it's all images that I personally really like. And then you've got my main portfolio, which I consider my best work, and that's how I categorize it. So I don't go out and get tons of good shots, otherwise my website will be filled with pages and pages of stuff from London because of how often I'm there. But instead I think there's like 50 photos from London. I think you've probably seen more than 50 photos of London at this point on this channel, which by the way is going into its 7th month, and we are nearly at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you all for your support. You're incredible, and I appreciate the comments and the feedback as well. It's been a great ride so far. But in terms of challenges, you don't have to challenge yourself with compositions and different things that you want to take photos of. It could also be challenging yourself to shoot in a different way. Whether that be you're a colour photographer and you shoot monochrome, there's a video on that on the channel if you want to know. Link in the cards up here or something. Yeah, you could do that, or you can change your focal length. I made a massive jump from changing from my Fuji to my Leica, because the Leica's a fixed lens 28mm, and sure, I can crop into 35 and 50 and 75 if I really wanted to, and I don't go any more than that. But with the Fuji, I had a zoom lens, and I had more freedom to, you know, stand across a street and wait for a subject and zoom right in. Whereas with the Leica, I'm fixed at 28 and I can see everything at 28, and I have to really visualize what I want the shot to be. So I'm finding myself having to get closer to the subject. I'm finding myself get more involved, or completely opposite, I am further back and taking pictures on more of a grand scale, with a subject being just a small part of the image, and they're usually silhouettes, shadows, and something that I've always really enjoyed taking photos of. But when I'm more up close, that's something that I never did before. It changed my way of shooting completely and made me fall in love with photography even more. Changing lenses obviously isn't always an ideal situation because lenses are expensive. So just changing the way you shoot in different ways, you know, whether you want to shoot nighttime when you usually shoot daytime, go out when it's raining to just challenge yourself in different environments. All those different things to take you out of the norm will make you enjoy photography a little more. And then just go to different places, take different photos, and really study your past work, because that's a big part of it as well. I've talked about keeping your photos before, but when you keep your photos and look back on them a year or 2 years later, when you at that point of taking that photo were really happy with it, and then you look at it now and go, wow, the photo that I took last week was far better than the photo I took 2 years ago. You can visually see your growth. That's one of the main reasons I made this channel, because I can visually see my growth more, and I get to keep a log of all of my travel and my adventures on this channel as well. So being able to see visual growth and comparing old images to new images, and you see that you're getting better, will give you motivation that not every day is going to be a winner. And not every day you're going to go out and get a portfolio worthy image, but that's okay, because in the long run you're progressing and taking better photos. That being said, we all have good days, we all have bad days. Photography is a process, and you should enjoy it no matter what you're doing. Don't feel pressured to take certain kinds of images because other people are doing so, or your inspirations and the people that made you start photography are shooting certain subjects or certain locations, so you need to do the same to keep up to date or keep in with a trend. Do something that you're doing because you like to do it. And in the long run, that rut will just be a distant memory because you will be completely involved again, really enjoying yourself. And no matter what you're shooting, as long as you enjoy it, that is the main thing. Thank you for watching this video. It was a very from the heart one, because obviously people have asked this before, and I think we've all had moments where you think, should I continue doing things like this? Should I spend this amount of money on a camera? Will I keep doing it in the future? All of those sort of things come to your head from time to time, but trust me, if you enjoy it now and you know the reason why that you enjoy it, then you will always enjoy it. Just make sure you know the reason why you're doing it, and you've got all the different things to change it up that I've mentioned in this video, and you will be fine, because photography is great. And if you've got any work that you want me to see, just, you know, put your Instagram in the description, comments, and I'll have a look, because I like seeing different types of work. I like seeing all of your stuff too. Tag me in it on Instagram if you want. All those sorts of things. I want to see your work too, because I guarantee you've got some absolute bangers on your Instagram or whatever. So thank you so much for watching. Whatever you do, I'm sure you're great at it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.